pipeline up to the private individual. And I have supported the people that thought it would benefit them in the northern end and in the central location. However, there is one property owner out of both routes. There's only been one property owner contacted me that was opposed to the pipeline. I supported him 100%. I have had at least 3 meetings personally with people from Dominion to try to work out alternatives. But the issue in fact is they have already bought the rights on both sides and in a pretty large direction on both sides of this piece of property. And due to the lay of the land and the elevation, there's not really an option to put the pipeline on the property that they've already purchased and not come through this piece of property. So I'm very pleased to say I went back and spoke with the person again, and I would use his name, but he probably would rather me didn't. But I think he has come to the concept that it's going to happen, and he's willing to benefit from it as much as he can. And I feel that I played a major role in helping that, because when you end up in court, you know, the gas company has the best attorneys and the most money. So it's one of them things that you may win the fight if you can stay long enough to fight it, but it's a very costly and expensive endeavor to take on. So my opinion for the county and for the private citizens is, if you're getting forced into it, get as much out of it as you can and settle, you know, and I feel that's what this individual done. And to my knowledge, there's not another individual in the county that's opposed to it. I've only had that one person call me in the last 3 years, and I defended him as much as I could. That's all I can do as a commissioner.
Thank you. Mr. Grosclose?
Well, I know that the commission, like you say, supported the northern route at first, and I would agree with that, mainly because it was on more public land than private. Private property rights is a big issue, and I don't like your rights or mine being trampled on. The truth is, I believe that pipeline question is a bit above the county level as far as a decision. You know, it's going to be made by the Regulatory Commission, Federal Regulatory Commission. So I don't particularly want a pipeline. Because the county, it doesn't really we don't get gas to our homes or businesses. Our benefit is very little as far as tax income, in my opinion, on the scale of the pipeline and our budget. I'm afraid that we're a little too small to have a real influence on the size of that thing. The transmission portion of it doesn't bother me too much, but that does make it more readily available for future endeavors by the energy companies, and that part does scare me because, you know, I like clean drinking water too. So tough decisions, and I wish everyone the best of luck on that, and any way that I could help as a commissioner, I'm certainly willing to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lazorick?
Well, Mr. Walker and Mr. Grosclose were both conspicuously absent from the last anti-pipeline meeting that I attended up in Linwood. I'm not trusting to luck. I'm not talking about inevitabilities. I'm opposed to the pipeline for a number of reasons. In the first place, it is being promoted by fraud. The claim is fraudulently made by the company that this is to supply gas for power generation in Virginia and North Carolina. The planned pipeline intersects an existing pipeline that goes to the deep water ports at Norfolk, Virginia, and Hampton Roads. Gas is consistently more expensive overseas than it is here. The stockholders of this pipeline will be obligated, or will obligate the company to sell this gas overseas. There's no energy independence advantage. There's no gas supply available from this for North Carolina or Virginia, let alone for Pocahontas County. Mr. Walker says that he supports private property rights. He can't be doing that if he is supporting a project which is taking fraudulent arguments to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, which in turn will give this project the power of eminent domain, which is to seize your land whether you want to sell it or not. I support private property rights. I am opposed categorically to eminent domain, which violates property rights. If a project like this could be done by free and uncoerced sales of rights of way from landowners, it would be a completely different story. But as long as they are proposing to use the big stick of government compulsion, which is what this is all about, getting FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, to declare this project, quote, in the public interest, when in fact it's only in the interest of the stockholders who will profit from the sales of gas overseas, it's a fraud. I'm opposed to it. I'm on record as an intervener in front of FERC, and I will move in my first County Commission meeting that the County Commission alter their former position to oppose it. Thank you.
Thank you.